3 men had been poisoned. About 6 months prior, before I bought it, there was a man that he committed suicide in there.
Did you know some places in the U.S. are so haunted that even professional ghost hunters are terrified to look? What is it about these places? Here are 5 U.S. places so haunted, even ghost hunters are terrified. Starting with Salem, Massachusetts, where the past never truly lets go. When people talk about haunted towns in the United States, only a few names command fear, like Salem, Massachusetts. This small Puritan settlement became the stage for one of the darkest episodes in American colonial history, the Salem witch trials of 1692. What started as rumors of strange behavior quickly escalated into a grave panic. Over 200 people were accused of practicing witchcraft. 20 were executed, and countless others lived under suspicion for the rest of their lives. In Salem, the legacy of paranoia and injustice still hangs in the air today. Visitors walking through Salem often describe a strange feeling and heaviness, as though the ground itself remembers what happened. For instance, shadowy figures have been spotted drifting among the gravestones in the old Burying Point Cemetery, one of the oldest in the country. Rumors, sudden cold chills, and even the sensation of an unseen hand brushing people's shoulders are common stories. Then the Witch House, the only structure still standing with direct ties to the trials, adds to the unease. Tourists often claim they feel watched, and some swear they've seen ghostly women in colonial dresses flickering in the corners of dimly lit rooms. Today, Salem thrives on witch-themed tourism, with museums, occult shops, and ghost tours on every corner. Yet beneath the fun lies a chilling truth. The echoes of 1692 never fully faded, and Salem's spirits seem restless even up till now. But you know what? Salem is only the beginning. If the weight of the past makes this town unsettling, Centralia, Pennsylvania shows how even the land itself can turn against its people. Centralia is a town known not just to be haunted by witches or ghosts, but by fire. Back in 1962, a harmless trash fire spread into the coal mines beneath the town. That spark ignited an underground blaze that still burns to this day. More than 60 years later, the fire continues to rage, pumping out toxic gases and causing the ground to cave in unexpectedly. As the danger grew, nearly all of Centralia's residents were forced to leave. Today, only a handful remain. Streets are cracked and buckled, houses stand abandoned, and in some areas, smoke still rises from the earth like a warning. But while the fire is terrifying enough on its own, the atmosphere adds another layer of dread. Visitors describe the silence as unnatural, almost suffocating. Some claim to hear phantom footsteps on empty roads, disembodied voices calling through the haze, and some even claim to have seen shadowy figures moving in the steam. Did you know that Centralia's imagery was even used as inspiration for the horror movie Silent Hill? Not surprisingly, it's easy to see why. For most people standing in Centralia, with sulfur in the air and the ground trembling beneath your feet, feels like stepping into a real nightmare. However, not all haunted towns were created by fire. Some were shaped by centuries of bloodshed, war, and tragedy. Founded in 1565, St. Augustine, Florida has survived pirate raids, bloody battles, slavery, and epidemics. With over 4 centuries of history, it's no wonder the past refuses to remain in the past. The Castillo de San Marcos, the town's massive stone fortress, dominates the waterfront. Built to defend against invaders, it's seen sieges, imprisonment, and death. Many visitors say they've seen soldiers in old Spanish uniforms pacing the walls, only for them to vanish into thin air. For others, they report hearing phantom cannon fire echoing across the bay, long after the guns fell silent. The St. Augustine Lighthouse is another hotspot. In the 1800s, the daughters of a lighthouse keeper drowned in a tragic accident during construction work. Even today, guests and staff claim to hear the children's laughter, footsteps climbing the spiral staircase, and glimpses of shadowy figures peeking from the tower windows. Fellas, it doesn't end there. The cobblestone streets themselves are not left out. They carry ghost energy as well. From old hospitals and hotels to ancient cemeteries, paranormal activity seems woven into the very fabric of the town. Visitors often describe sudden cold breezes or the feeling of invisible eyes following them as they walk. St. Augustine may shine in the daylight with its Spanish architecture and ocean views, but when darkness falls, the weight of its past makes it a very scary place. If centuries of war and tragedy weren't enough, Jerome, Arizona shows how violence, greed, and vice can give rise to restless spirits that never truly move on. The town of Jerome once bore the nickname the wickedest town in America, and at its height in the early 1900s, Jerome was booming with copper mining. But the prosperity came with utter chaos. The town overflowed with saloons, brothels, and gambling halls, making violence almost a routine. Shootings, murders, and deadly mining accidents left behind a long trail of pain and grief. By the 1950s, when the mines closed, Jerome had dwindled into a ghost town, and with it came the stories of lingering spirits. With the most infamous location of them all, the Jerome Grand Hotel, once a hospital. Guests report screams echoing through the night, phantom moans, and the squeak of hospital gurneys moving through empty hallways. Some even claim to see apparitions of former patients wandering the corridors, while others describe feeling pushed by unseen hands on the staircase. Another scary story is that of Sammy Dean, a prostitute murdered in Jerome during its mining days. Even though her killer was never caught, legend says her ghost still drifts through the town, searching for justice. Though today, Jerome presents itself as an artsy hillside community, filled with galleries and quirky shops. But behind the charming facade, there's still an unmistakable sense of unease. The ghost of its violent past refused to fade, making Jerome a reminder that greed and violence always leave scars that time alone can't heal. While Jerome's haunted streets might have made your skin crawl, Bodie, California will leave you with something even more disturbing. During the late 1800s, Bodie was a thriving boomtown with thousands of residents and a reputation for danger. Shootings, robberies, and barroom brawls were so common that one young girl reportedly prayed, "Goodbye, God, I'm going to Bodie." But when the gold ran out, Bodie was left to rot. What remains today is a town in decay, buildings frozen in time, with dusty interiors, rusted wagons, and broken saloons. Then there's the Bodie curse. According to legend, anyone who takes something from the town, even the smallest nail, stone, or splinter of wood, will be cursed with misfortune until the item is returned. Park rangers confirm they receive packages every year from people mailing back stolen artifacts, often accompanied by desperate letters describing streaks of car crashes, illnesses, or personal tragedies. As if that weren't enough, visitors also claim to see ghostly figures staring out from windows, or hear the faint sounds of music and laughter drifting from empty saloons. At night, with the desert silence pressing in, Bodie feels less like an abandoned town and more like a place still very much alive with its past. From the witch trials of Salem to the burning earth of Centralia, the ancient spirits of St. Augustine, the violent past of Jerome, and the cursed ruins of Bodie, each of these towns carries a darkness that time has failed to erase. They remind us that history isn't just written in books or etched into monuments. Sometimes it lingers in the walls, the streets, and the very ground beneath our feet. What do you think about this? Let us know in the comment section below. While you're at it, kindly give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel for more videos like this. Until next time, thank you for watching.